What's up, everybody? Good morning. It's me again, Mr. Kelly. I hope you had a good weekend. I hope you had a good day, whatever day you're watching this. First of all, this video is sponsored by the Cuyahoga Falls Department of Education. Of course, we just found out that it looks like we're both going to be coming back next year. So, woo! Okay, also, information for you guys. All of your grades are posted online, or almost all of them. All right, so any missing assignments that you have, they're not hurting your grade. You guys can make those up at any time, but it will tell you that it's missing. So if you're on this video, maybe you haven't watched some of the other ones, we've kind of been going in like an order. So you might want to go back to some of the other videos. Usually we have a link in here that gives you the notes from last time. All right, so we're going to get into it today with the power property. I'll put my name up here. I linked this video. I think it's pretty funny. You guys might have seen it. If we treated teachers like pro athletes, from Key and Peele. Pretty funny, pretty cool. Check it out. So far with exponents, we have asked a couple questions. First, what happens when we multiply two powers together? So remember, a power is a base with an exponent. So 2 to the third times 2 to the fifth, that's 2 to the 3 plus 5. You add those exponents, all right? Because when we broke it up into 2 times 2, you know, we're lazy mathematicians over here. So we're trying to make it easier to write. All right, same thing when we divide. Remember, this fraction means divide. 3 to the 7th divided by 3 to the 3rd. It's going to be 3 to the 7 minus 3, or 4. Okay, but I hear you way in the back, wherever you are, wherever you're watching this. You're probably asking, what happens if we take a power to another power? We have something like 6 to the 4th. We take it to the 3rd power. Well, that's a great question. Thank you so much for asking. In fact, to take a power to another power, we multiply the exponents. So in this example, we have 6 to the 4th power. Then we're taking 6 to the 4th power to the 3rd power. All right, so that's going to end up being 6 to the 4 times 3, or 6 to the 12th. All right, and here's how it's going to break down. We know that 6 to the 4th, actually, let me scroll down a little bit more. Sorry about that. 6 to the 4th is 1 times 6 4 times, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we have 6 to the 4th to the 3rd power, this is where things get a little crazy. That means we're taking this 6 to the 4th and multiplying it by itself 3 times. So we have 6 to the 4th power times 6 to the 4th power times 6 to the 4th power. Sorry about that. All right. So 6 to the 4th times 6 to the 4th times 6 to the 4th, 3 times, because we're taking it to the 3rd power. All right, so how many 6s do we end up having, right? Because these 1s, they're just there to hold that place. When we multiply by 1, we get the number that we're multiplying 1 by. I messed that up last week, and nobody emailed me saying, hey, Mr. Kelly, you messed it up. Ms. Hershey had to let me know. So double check. If I mess something up, please email me. All right, but these 1s end up dropping away. And so how many 6s are we multiplying? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then times 1, 2, 3, 4 more. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Right? So here I've gotten rid of the 1s and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 sixes, right? That is how we break down 6 to the 4th to the 3rd power. Because in reality, when we do that, we end up with 6 times itself 12 times, or 6 to the 12th power. Again, we're breaking this out not to make it more confusing, but to help us understand what's happening. Okay, as soon as we're done with this, we're always going to multiply, but I'm just breaking it down like this so that we can see why we're multiplying these powers. Why up here we did 4 times 3. Well, we did that because when we break it all out, we end up with this many sixes, 12 sixes, and that's 4 times 3. All right, so we're going to do 1 together, and then I'm going to ask that you do 2 on your own, and you turn those in. All right, so what happens? 2 to the 5th power to the 2nd power. 2 to the 5th squared. So I'm going to insert an equation. All right, so I know that in terms of simplifying, we're going to take that to the 5 times. So I got to come up here and do times 2. All right, we were adding and subtracting powers, but that was when we had 2 different powers multiplying by each other. Now we're taking a power to another power, so we have to multiply. All right, so what's that answer? It's going to be 2 to the 10th power, right? 5 times 2 is 10. Okay, now I'm going to break it down. Okay, up here, my first step in breaking it down was just what is this stuff inside the parentheses. So that was 6 to the 4th. In this case, you're going to figure out what is 2 to the 5th power. Well, that's 1 times 2 5 times. So times 2 once, times 2 twice, times 2 thrice, times 2, I don't know the word for that, but 4 times, and then times 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then, of course, that's still to the 2nd power. So this breaks down to being 2 to the 5th, or 1 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you put that part in parentheses because we're going to multiply it how many times? 2 times. We're multiplying 2 to the 5th power times itself 2 times. So I'm going to put my parentheses, and then I'm going to put everything again. You can be creative and copy and paste. I'm just going to rewrite it. Doesn't take that long. So 1 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. And then those 1s are going to drop away. And how many 2s do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that ends up as 2 times 2 twice times 2 3 times 2 4 times 2 5 times 2 6 times 2 7 times 2 8 times 2 9 times made a mistake, times 2 10, right? 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. All right, so again, that simplifies to being 2 to the 10th. All right, again, copy and paste might be your friend on this. None of the examples that we asked you to do should have much more writing than this, but we want you to simplify and break that down, right? If you want maybe a better explanation or a different explanation or something else, we link this video down here. It's just called the power property. I would skip to 232. All right, they talk about some properties that we're going to talk about in the future. I think today is the 27th of April when this video comes out. We're going to talk about those properties on the 29th of April. So you don't have to worry about those just yet. But skip to 232 if you want to see what we just did up here. And then try these two. So 7 to the third power to the third power. Again, you're going to simplify that and then break that down. And then 4 to the third power to the second power. All right, try to keep it pretty reasonable. All right, and watch this video because it's funny. Okay, make sure you stay to the end. There's always questions at the end, and then turn this in both on Edpuzzle and on Google Classroom. I love you guys. You guys are awesome. You have been so responsive, and we really appreciate it. Shout out to any of you who filled out that student survey and gave Miss Hershey or I a shout out. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourselves and see you soon.